Hey, everybody, coming to you live for another Wellness Wednesday. And this topic is so important, not something that we always want to consider or hear about, but the topic this evening is going to be sabotage. So perhaps you like to watch certain shows where there's some element of sabotage and it keeps you really interested. There's twists and turns. If you do have a show like that, drop in the comment box which show you like to watch that has some type of sabotage or plot twists in it. I'd love to hear what your favorite shows are at the moment. If you're tuning in live, put a 1 in the comment box and where you're tuning in from. And if you end up hopping on the replay later, also put where you're tuning in from. Put a 2 if you're going to be on the replay and where you're tuning in from. So, hey Miriam, hey Quinn, hey Jeff, thanks so much for tuning in. I always like to talk about something that is coming up for me personally. It could also be something that I'm noticing in my work as a speech therapist or as a health coach or in my day-to-day life, and that way it's relevant and meaningful. So, hey, yeah, tuning in some people from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, from Maine. Awesome. Welcome. So what I'm talking about tonight is the top 10 excuses that we tend to make as human beings for whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish. So what I'd like you to do is think about something right now that you are trying to accomplish. It may have to do with your health. Perhaps you're trying to lose weight. Perhaps you have a new goal for your business. So it could be job or business related. Maybe you have a relationship goal. You're trying to improve a certain relationship or relationships in your life. The list could go on and on as far as goals that we want to accomplish, right? But the top 10 excuses that people make, this is according to Huffington Post, but I definitely, when I read through the list, I could relate to these things. And I have seen people or experienced people giving me these reasons when I talk with them about their health goals as a health coach, or perhaps in my speech therapy work. Why would you like to work on your speech and language? If I'm working with a particularly older either kids or adults, they're better able to communicate with me about their goals and take what I hope take ownership over those goals, because guess what? It's their goals. I am there to support them, whether I'm a speech therapist in that speech therapist role or a health coach role, but ultimately it's their goal. And in order for them to accomplish that goal, they have to take ownership over it and be willing to work hard toward those particular goals. So, hey, Rebecca, thanks for tuning in. I'd love for you guys to take some guesses. What are top excuses that we as human beings give for not being able to accomplish our goals? What are some things that we think get in the way of our ability to accomplish goals? And shoot, go ahead, comment. I'd love to see what you think appear on the top 10 list of excuses. What is it? David Letterman had the top 10. So what do you think are the top 10 reasons for people not accomplishing their goals? And it could be any particular goals. Like I said, it could be related to your health and wellness. It could be related to your job. It could be related to finances, relationships, you name it, anything in your life where you are not real pleased, you're not real happy with how things are going, you want to make changes, but every time you go to try to do this particular thing and you try to accomplish that particular goal, you seem to butt up against, perhaps you feel like it's a brick wall, a metaphorical brick wall. What is that brick wall? there's an excuse there, right? And I like to call it self-sabotage. As a health coach, I help people to try to break through their sabotage behavior, and it tends to come up for some people quite often, the more ingrained it is. So what are these excuses that come up for people? Any guesses? Nope, I don't see any guesses. So I'm going to start naming off the excuses. Hey, Tom. Hey, Natalie. Thanks for tuning in. Put a 1 if you're tuning in live and where you're tuning in from. If you tune in after the live, put a 2 and where you're tuning in from. So the number, this isn't in any particular order, I don't think, but number 1, according to Huffington Post, the number 1, the first excuse is money. Money. So here's the thing. A lot of people working hard, trying to make money, various expenses we're dealing with. I can totally relate to that. Working multiple jobs, some of us, including myself. But you have to think about, where do you spend a lot of your money? Or where do you, if you broke it down, where are you putting a good amount of your money? Are these areas necessities, or are these areas more like, well, I like to do these things? Again, this is something that you have to look at personally. I mean, a health coach, a life coach, I can't sit there and tell you, okay, no, you shouldn't spend your money here and there. That's a very personal decision. However, money is something that if you always come up against that brick wall or that reason, I don't have the money, then just think about, how are you going to accomplish your goals if you always come up with that particular reason for not being able to move forward, that I don't have enough money. To give you an example, I had my 7 years of digestive issues. I went to various practitioners seeking help, and I can tell you, in that amount of time, 7 years, being persistent and trying to get answers, I spent a good amount of money, whether I wanted to or not. And so basically, if I would have stopped looking for answers and I would have stopped trying to improve my health because of money, I truly don't believe that I would be where I am now, which is feeling so much better, had I given up. So just to give you a real life example there, if money is stopping you and it continues to stop you, how are you going to be able to move forward and accomplish your goals, whatever those goals happen to be? The next item, I don't have the time. Does this sound familiar? So I do wellness events. I invite people to them. And one of my biggest frustrations has been, I really want to bring to people live in-person events where there's something awesome about being in the same room with people and being able to share information and support one another. But it seems like almost every time, or maybe not every time, that I do a live event, there seems to be a good number of people interested. And then before you know it, they start dropping like flies and there's nobody left. There's nobody actually coming, or everyone that seems to be interested, they're interested, but trying to get people to commit to actually coming to an event has been extremely challenging. And I often hear people say, I don't have the time, or, I have probably 20 other things that I'm doing. I don't have the time. And, maybe it's true that you're very busy, but also what it always comes down to is priorities. So if you're someone who's really struggling with your health and you choose to do those other 20 things that you have on your list, is that a problem, right? So it always comes down to priorities, and you have to consider, what are your top priorities, and making sure that you're what you really need, you're actually, I guess, acting upon those needs, addressing those needs, and not doing things that do not help you toward accomplishing your highest priority goals. Number 3, I am so overwhelmed. I find this, a lot of people that say they don't have time, they don't have money, they're overwhelmed. Again, I'm not saying that I can't relate to this, that I'm not compassionate toward it, but overwhelmed, it's basically you're just spinning and spinning and spinning, and you have to get out of that cycle. It's a bad cycle to be in. So when you're overwhelmed, you have to do something to stop that process. And perhaps it could mean decreasing the number of activities you're doing. Maybe you're doing way too much. Maybe you need to enlist support. Maybe you need to hire a health coach to help you through some stress management techniques and ways to get your body in better health, because your body is drained and utterly fatigued. And that's happening more and more to people with people trying to take on too many things and being overly stressed and all of the things that we're being exposed to. So I totally get that feeling of being overwhelmed, but then what are you going to do about it? You can't just let that continue and continue and continue and expect a better result if you don't take action on that feeling of being overwhelmed. A lot of health issues, including digestive issues, are related to a lower stress tolerance. I experienced that myself. So if you need help with being able to be more resilient and not get as overwhelmed by things, then feel free to reach out to me. I always say that. I do wellness consults, and I can certainly help tease apart perhaps where your health issues are contributing or are related to your lowered stress tolerance and more frequent feelings of overwhelm. Number 4, not right now. It's not the right time to start. So have you found yourself saying that? Well, I'll wait till next month, or I'll wait till next year. Yeah, that would be better. I'm going to start changing my diet next year. Again, human nature to push things off to an extent, but there's never going to be the right time. So it's a matter of sometimes, again, taking action. And oftentimes we regret things that we didn't do, not the things that we did do. So you need to really think about that, and not wait too long to get started on accomplishing a goal that you need to work toward. I would say for health, this is a big one. Not right now, not right now, not right now. And I recently posted about the costs of healthcare and the cost of going to urgent care, the cost of being in a hospital for multiple days or for longer than multiple days. So basically, by pushing things off and pushing things off, what ends up happening? The problem gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you have a way bigger problem on your hands. So it's very important to not push things off and be a master procrastinator, or you're going to be dealing with bigger problems later on down the line. And with your health, you don't want those kinds of problems. So number 5, fear. So a lot of times we let fear keep us from accomplishing our goals. Anything worth pursuing, guys, is it going to have some fear associated with it? Yeah, for sure. Think about anything that you've done in your life so far. Did it come with some fear? And what did you have to do? You had to take the leap, right? So there's going to be fear, and you can't let that stop you. Go ahead and comment. What do you guys think so far? Are these things that have come up for you in your life? You felt resistance when trying to accomplish a goal because money came up for you, time, overwhelm, not right now, fear. How about this one, number 6? I'm too old, or I'm too young. I can't do this. I don't have enough experience, or maybe it's, again, the opposite side of things. I have too much experience, or I'm too old. I hear that one a lot. Well, I don't need to work on my health. I'm just getting older, and, I feel miserable, but that's just part of getting older. So not a good one. You could be 90 years old and be feeling pretty amazing. You could be feeling better than some people in their 20s. So, that one needs to be looked at if you think that you don't need to work on something because of your age. Number 7, it's just who I am. Yeah, I don't need to work on that. It's just who I am. I've weighed, 190 pounds my whole life, even though I'm a little overweight. It's just who I am. I don't need to work on this. but yet I'm dealing with maybe some health issues that are really causing problems at that 190-pound weight for your body, for your build and stuff. 190 might be too much, and it's contributing to a lot of issues that could lead to chronic disease later on. So just accepting it as it's just who I am. I did a video in the past on complacency, and that's definitely what that one is about, complacency. Like, what am I going to do about it? It's always been this way. Number 8, it's just too hard. Have you ever said that to yourself? It's just too hard. Or do you hear kids say that a lot? I can't do that. It's just too hard. I hear that a lot. But you know what? Good things take work. And again, think about something that you've done in your life and something that you feel really proud of. Did it take hard work? Did it take time? Did it take patience? Comment on the video and let me know, what's something you've accomplished in your life that you're really proud of. Did it take a lot of time and patience and effort? And maybe it took a good amount of money. I think about education. Sometimes you put a lot of money. I put a lot of money, I'll be honest, into my coaching. I went to school for speech therapy. That wasn't cheap. And then I decided later to go back after my health issues. I was able to get those under control. And I've done a lot of education and coaching. Did I have to do that? No, but it was important to me. And it required putting extra money out there that I wasn't necessarily expecting to put out. But I invested that in myself, in my future, and in my future health coaching clients so that they would have a coach who knows what they're doing. Let's see here. What else? Number 9, you might have this block for accomplishing a goal because you wonder what other people will think about you. Maybe you're like, well, maybe it ties in with that. Well, this is how I've always been. I've always been this weight. I've always been someone who eats this way, and I eat whatever I want. So what will others think if I start, eating healthier? Like, my friends don't eat healthier. Again, I'm just making up some examples for you to relate to. So, and that's a big one. I'm gluten-free now, guys. Like, I didn't always eat gluten-free, and I had to adjust to a new way of living. I have people in my life who may have thought I was picky for quite a while, and they judged me. But you know what? It's too bad. I'm the one that has to deal with feeling sick from eating gluten if I decide to eat it, not the other people who are telling me I'm picky or rolling their eyes or judging me for it. And number 10, what if I fail? So, you might be kind of down on yourself about a particular goal, and you're more thinking, well, what if I fail, and what are other people going to think? And, you really want to do things well. And I understand that. I can totally relate to that. Like, we're more apt to do things that we're good at. That I think is human nature too. But here's the thing. Let's try to flip that. Instead of thinking, what if I fail? What if by doing this and trying it, I actually succeed? And so what I'd like to put out to you from doing this video is, again, really thinking about the excuses that you tell yourself with various goals. Think about one particular goal you're trying to accomplish right now, and think about how you can overcome these excuses you've been telling yourself. Do you need to enlist support? Perhaps you need support with the mindset aspect, because these negative feelings and these excuses keep cropping up for you. Perhaps you need support to, as the days go by and the weeks go by, you need support to make these things happen, because otherwise you keep telling yourself, not right now, not right now, not right now. And that time, the right time never comes. So that's where a health coach can be very helpful. And people, often ask me, well, what is a health coach? What does a health coach do? As a health coach, I support my clients in accountability is a huge thing, helping them hold true to their goals and be actively working toward their wellness goals. And the other thing too, sometimes you may not be real clear on what your goals even are. And so as a coach, I help you to get clearer on what goals you have for yourself. And if they're not well defined, it's going to be harder to achieve them. So, and the other issue is sometimes you know what your goals are, but you're not sure how to get there. And with your particular unique health situation, you need someone who is well versed in that particular area. For example, maybe digestive health, autoimmunity, inflammation, hormonal health. Those are things that I'm really passionate about and specialize in as a health coach. And so you need someone who knows their stuff, and you need that knowledge and also the support along the way to get where you're wanting to go with your goals. So, all right, feel free to comment on the video. What came up for you as far as excuses go? Are you sabotaging yourself? Yeah, what comes up for you regarding this topic? But I hope that you will take some steps, some action steps toward I guess I could say slay. Let's slay some of these excuses and start getting into action so that we can become healthier and happier individuals. And that benefits everyone and everyone in the world. It's a ripple effect, guys. When you make a positive decision for yourself, you impact those in your life that you interact with, your family, your friends, your significant others. And by treating other people better, they tend to then pass on that positivity. So I encourage you to slay the excuses and start getting into action so you can start upgrading your health and feeling your very best. Have a great evening. Have a great rest of the week, guys. And feel free to reach out if you are in need of support. Good night.